All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are diving deep into the EV war. Now, this is a huge battle for the future of driving, for our whole green transition, and it's being fought with a weapon you might not see coming, a 100% tax that is quietly shaping what you and I might be driving for years to come.
If you've ever glanced at the price of a new EV, maybe a Tesla or something similar, and just thought to yourself, wow, I think I'd rather walk, well, you are definitely not alone. That sticker shock is a real wall for millions of people who actually want to go electric.
But what if I told you there was a sleek, high-tech, brand new electric car, and it was available for just $15,000? All of a sudden, that electric dream, it feels totally within reach. It's affordable, it's green, it's the future you were promised. You're all in.
But then, just as you're about to buy it, this giant hand comes down from nowhere and slaps a 100% tariff on it. Instantly, the price doubles. Your $15,000 dream just became a $30,000 reality. So, what on earth just happened? Well, welcome to the 100% tariff trap. And look, this isn't some hypothetical situation. It is the absolute core of a massive global conflict that's pitting our climate goals against national economics. And today we're going to break it all down, piece by piece. So, part one, the $15,000 Trojan horse. Where did this unbelievably cheap car even come from? And why is it causing so much panic? Well, the answer lies in this huge global competition, what you could call a subsidy arms race.
So, what is a subsidy arms race? Basically, it's when countries, we're talking China, the US, Europe, start pouring billions and billions of public dollars into one specific industry, like EV manufacturing, to try and completely dominate it. It just becomes a global spending competition.
And the scale of this thing it's just staggering. I mean, look at this chart. Governments are funneling enormous sums of public money into their EV industries. This is what artificially pushes the cost of production way, way down. And that is how you get a car that seems impossibly cheap.
So here's the crucial point, right? Your personal decision to buy an affordable green car is now caught in the crossfire. As the source material puts it, your green future is essentially being held hostage by a geopolitical cage match. Okay, so why not just block these cheap cars? Well, it is not nearly as simple as it sounds. For part two, we're going to explore why by looking at what makes North America's auto engine tick. It's like this deeply integrated, shared nervous system. See, the auto industry here on our continent isn't three separate things. It's really one single organism. You've got parts being made in Mexico, designed in labs in the US, and then finally put together on assembly lines in Canada. These cross-border supply chains are just incredibly complex and efficient. To make this really concrete, let's just trace a single part. A battery casing, for example. It might be molded down in Mexico, then shipped up to the US for some components, and then it's sent over to Canada for final assembly into a car. If you disrupt that flow with tariffs, you get massive, totally unpredictable consequences. And what this creates is this crazy game of geopolitical whack-a-mole. A politician makes a speech, a new tariff gets slapped on cars, and then another country immediately retaliates with tariffs on something totally different, like, say, agriculture. And all of a sudden, it's the farmers and the consumers who end up getting hit.
Which brings us to part three, betting the national credit card. Where is all this cash for the subsidies arms race? Where is it actually coming from?
Yeah, let's be really clear about this. This is not free money. Governments are funding this industrial war by taking on massive, massive amounts of national debt. They are, in effect, borrowing from the future to try and win the car market of today. It's a colossal economic gamble with some really serious long-term consequences.
So, all of this leads us to our final section, and it's a fundamental choice. Are Western nations trying to be green leaders, or are they trying to build geopolitical fortresses?
And honestly, this is the question for all of us. What do we actually prioritize? Should we block cheap green technology to protect our own domestic industries, for national security? Or is getting the price of an EV battery down as fast as humanly possible the more important goal for the climate? The two paths are pretty clear, right? You have the fortress nation, which blocks cheap tech to protect its own industry, but that comes at the cost of higher prices for you, the consumer. Then you have the global green leader, which embraces affordable solutions from anywhere to speed up climate action, but that could potentially weaken its own industrial base. The blunt verdict, according to the source material, is that you simply can't be both.
A really tough choice, has to be made between these two competing identities. And ultimately, it all comes down to this kind of cynical but pretty realistic lesson. No matter how ambitious the climate mandate is, the hard math of subsidies, of debt, and just straight-up economics, well, it will eventually catch up to the fantasy. Economic reality, it seems, always wins.
So, as we wrap this up, I'll just leave you with this one last question to think about. We know the sticker price of an EV, but after everything we've looked at today, what's the real price of your green future?